All right. Good evening once again to you guys, and you're all welcome to our live session this evening. Today is Monday, and like I said, I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. We have some new persons in our midst, so okay, I think you're not here at the moment. So I just wanted to say hi to them. Jay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Good evening to you. How are you?
Even.
Okay. So are you new here? Is this your first time joining our sessions? Just trying to make sure.
No, it's not first time. First time
Oh,
speaking.
your first time. Oh, not your first time.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, interesting. So how long have you been trading? I think let's start there. How long has it been?
About 4 years. About 4 years.
All right. Sorry about that. There was a little break in transmission. So, Jay, can you still hear me?
Yeah, man, can still hear you.
All right, sweet. So I was asking, how long has it been since you started trading?
About 4 years now.
4
On and
years. Hmm.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite some experience. So, interesting. How would you describe your journey so far?
Ups and downs. I think my problem is keeping consistency. Is to being keep yeah, consistency my problem.
Hmm. Okay. Um, 4 years. Yeah, that's quite some experience. So, can you talk a little bit as to how you trade? Are you a swing trader, a day trader? What style of trading do you incorporate?
Break and retest. You know, to a major support or resistance zone, look for confirmation, then enter basically.
Yeah, that's quite good. Now I think it would depend on other things. So, what would you say is the reason why you still struggle or you still have like ups and downs? What do you think is the
Account size.
sorry, what?
Account size.
Account size.
Yeah.
Hmm. How do you mean?
Because um most times I'm risking a lot. So your account is not that big and you're risking more than the account in most cases to see actually a profit. If it's a
Oh,
case whereby, you make some money and you're not following proper risk management, you're gonna basically lose it. So I
okay.
believe that's my issue. Because I've been following more like from ever since Ian Nixon. So I would watch those videos. The two of them were basically the mentors.
Yeah, Nick Sean. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's been a while. It's been a long time, I must say.
yeah, it is.
It's been a long time. So if I understand you correctly, is maybe I think we'd have to like discuss this a bit further just to see really how you trade and how you approach things. But it's looking like maybe it's not the account size, maybe it's risk management. Don't you think so? Because um, I feel like with most accounts, yeah, some accounts are really small, but um, don't you think it is your risk management that makes you eventually blow up?
Yeah, I believe that. It'll. I use the word account size, but basically it's risk management.
Yeah, because I
Because
like to think I like to think that that's the case. The reason why I say this is because if you're able to make money on your account, but then blow it all up, then maybe it's risk management. All right, I think that's the case. So, and this is one of the things we discussed in our previous boot camps. As one of the things, the key things that helps traders to be successful, risk management. I think it is. I call it a non-negotiable. What I mean is, you can't negotiate your way out of it. If you don't have proper risk management, then you cannot succeed as a trader. So it's like, if this is a problem you have, then it means you have to work on it, because maybe it's not the system you trade, but maybe it's your risk management that you attach to the system. Okay, so if that's the case, it seems like that's something you might really need to work on.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah,
what I
okay,
could
what?
do to I could try to share my screen so I can show you where I approach the market and if you see
Yeah,
something. But the thing about it is that I have the Telegram on my phone, not on my computer. So I don't know how I would proceed to show you my screen there. You have any ideas?
now I think the best bet would be to, if you have a PC, the best bet would be to download Telegram on your PC. Is that possible?
Let me try. Hold on.
All right. So what you do is try downloading that
I'll get
and
back to you.
see how far that. All right. So just try
Yeah,
doing
let me
that,
try that.
and yeah. All right. So while you do that, I will just share my screen now and go over what we have for the week. Okay.
No, no problem.
So yeah. All right. Let's see. Uh. Hmm. No. Hold on. All right. So yeah. Let me share my screen now and. All right. So, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. Sweet. So, let's get into this now. What do we have for the week now? Here on Forex Factory, I have red folder needs event. So I filtered events so that I can only see red folder needs events on Forex Factory. That's why um the boxes are pretty small. But yeah, let's run through what we have for the week. Today, not much. Besides federal election in Canada, that's about it. And tomorrow, I think we just have jobs job openings in the US, and we'll see how that number comes out. Now, the dollar is kind of weak today. I find that very weird, but I'll see why. I think I have to check. The dollar was like quite strong in the morning. I don't say strong, but it was just there in the morning. But like now, it kind of like felt a little bit is experiencing some kind of weakness, but that's okay. So this is coming out tomorrow by 3 p.m. What else? Hold up. So on Wednesday we have CPI, which is basically inflation in Australia. Okay, so this will come out by 2:30. Now, year over year, I think we had 2.4% inflation in Australia, and now there's a there might be a potential decline because forecast is expecting this to come at 2.3 as opposed to 2.4. So the question is, are we going to see um, inflation tick lower or tick higher, beating forecast or maybe even beating previous, or maybe even stay the same? Find out. What else? So manufacturing PMI coming out in China. What else? Um, prelim CPI coming out in Germany. So that's also inflation coming out in Germany. We then have ADP. Now, the difference between ADP and NFP, like I've explained before, is ADP kind of focuses on same employment chain, but it kind of focuses on um, the private sector, right? Meanwhile, NFP is like a public kind of thing. So every week, what I've noticed is a pattern is every single week we're going to have NFP. On that Wednesday, we definitely have ADP. That's like something I've noticed come out in this case. So this is just something to look out for.
Hello, Casey.
Okay. Yeah. I believe.
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry, please, but actually, I want to know all this forecast, like, how are we going to know? Like, I know as you're stating it out, how are we going to know that? Okay, this forecast is going to affect the price, whether it will go bullish or bearish or something. Like, I don't know if you are getting my point. So
Now, okay, yeah, fine question. The thing is, like I've always said, we have to be careful as we approach fundamentals. And the reason why I'm doing it is so that we know all the important news events that could come out. But if you're trying to use fundamentals to paint a picture of an economy, you're not just going to use, let's say, for example, Australia. You're not just going to use just inflation, right? You're going to compare that with like the job data, the labor market, how's the consumer, consumer spending. A lot of things kind of affect an economy, if that makes sense. So you're not just using the data that comes out from each of these countries or economies, and then use that as a reason why the currency will move up or down. You get. So, but this is just to give you an overview of what to expect. For example, NFP, right? NFP is a big day, like Friday, for example. NFP is such an important news event because it gives us an idea of how the economy is looking overall. So, if NFP misses or if it comes in higher, it gives us an idea, if that makes sense. So, we don't just decide off of just this, right? We already have what's going on in the US. So, this is like an added data, if that makes sense. So, when it comes to like the forecast and previous, there's so much to go into, to be honest. Let me give you an example. What do we use? I think I saw GDP. Okay, this is month over month. So let's do an example of NFP, for example, right? So NFP is coming out on Friday alongside unemployment rates. Now, the previous data came in at 228,000, but now you can look at the forecast. This is the forecast. What it means is analysts are expecting that there's going to be a decline in NFP, like employment change. That's the expectation. Ordinarily, that should be a miss, right? And that should ordinarily affect the US dollar. Now, that in couple with unemployment rate. If unemployment rate comes in higher, although they're expecting it to come in like at the same thing, right? Same 4.2%. But if it comes in higher and this misses, then it might put pressure on the dollar, if that makes sense. But you have to look at this data alongside all the other data come on, retail sales, pretty much every other thing about the economy, GDP. There's a whole lot to look at. I think that makes sense. So we still don't just decide off of one data, but looking at data gives us an idea of what we could be expecting for the currency. I think that makes sense. Same thing with like unemployment claims, right? So if, for example, unemployment claims comes in lower, right, which means the number of people who file for unemployment comes in really low. We also have job openings, right? So job openings coming higher. I'm just looking at the US economy, for example, right? So job openings coming higher, unemployment rates comes in lower. Sorry, unemployment claims comes in lower. Unemployment rates ticks down, and for example, NFP comes in higher. This is positive news for the US dollar, right? And all of these news combined, coupled with the other things that have come out in the previous weeks, can give us an idea that okay, the US dollar is still strong. The economy is still very strong. You get. So we don't just decide off of forecast and previous. Ideally, we look at the actual data that comes out and the previous data. Forecast is important, yes, but to some extent it just kind of like a reaction. The market will just react to it at that time. The very important data we look at is the actual data in comparison with the forecast. Sorry, with the previous. Okay, so I don't know if this gives you an overview. It's a long discussion.
yeah, sure.
Long fundamentals, but yeah. So something else we have to keep an eye on is the Bank of Japan's interest rate, right? So came in at 0.5%. We talked about that before now. It was raised to 0.5% in January. So remember, the last time the hiked rate was in July of 2024. If we go back to the chart, we'll explain what that costs, right? So they hiked rate to 0.25%, and now the increased rate again in January to 0.5%. So the question now is, what is going to happen next? Are they going to increase rates? Are they going to cut rates? Are they going to keep rates the same? You can see the forecast here is expecting that rates will stay the same. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But this just shows you that it is quite important because the decision of the Bank of Japan will kind of like help us see where the J price will be headed as well. So yeah, we'll see. Okay.
Yeah, Fasi, please, I want to ask a question. Today,
Okay.
I watched the foreign factory, and I saw all day bank holiday for Japan. But today it was bullish. So which means that it's not only the banks that move the market, not that.
Of course not. No, of course not.
Okay, because there was a bank holiday today for Japan, but today it was bullish.
Yeah. So that of course not. Not of course. I mean, it's a $1 trillion market, right? So the difference is sometimes when there are bank holidays, you just see less volatility in some cases, right? In some cases, but that's about it. That's about it. That's about it, to be honest. So does that make sense?
Yes, Kasi, I understand. Not only the banks. Yeah, I understand.
Okay. All right. Sweet. Now let's see. Hold up. So I think this is the most we have in terms of like the fundamentals. I think the highlight of fundamentals is basically just Australia CPI, which I'm watching out for. What else? Uh, okay, PCE as well. This is like the month-over-month data. That's okay. Now, of course, this interest rate data, the outlook, the press conference. This one I'm also looking out for, and as well as NFP. Right? So I think that's about it. Okay, that's about it. So, yeah, let me move over to um, the charts. Now, I think I'll just pretty much wrap this quick because, like I said before, today we're going to look at some journals, right? So let's just quickly run through the charts. So I'll share my screen now. Let me just adjust that. And yeah, all right. So the JPYs. Now, they're quite strong today. Like, the Japanese yen is quite bullish today. And I like to think that's on the sentiment side of things. Now, there's no exact fundamental to support this, but I like to think it has to be sentiment because at the same time you're seeing that the Swiss franc pairs are also dumping, right? They're also like in reds, and then the dollar is weak. So I like to think this has something to do with tariffs, but I've not really checked like the news to see um what really is going on. So, but yeah, we'll find out. Okay, find out. Let's look at the charts. What has happened on the chart? Let's see. Not much to be honest. Not much. Closed bullish last week. The week just started, right? So not much. Um, AJ is the same. Cat GPY is the same as well. Um, yeah, expecting the same thing, right? CJ GPY still in trade, same thing. EJ, yeah. So we came back here last week to test the level, and now we're dropping off of it. Now I'm still waiting, right? I've been waiting, but yeah, I think I still continue to be patient with Euro JPY. I want the breakout. I sincerely want the breakout. So that's the only thing I can do. Just wait. Once it breaks out, then fine. We'll get back into EJ longs. Pound JPY still long, and yeah, so far so good. Ended the JPY. Close bullish last week. Not much has changed to be honest. US JPY. Let's see. We bounced off here last week. I think we're coming back to test it. The dollar is weak, like momentarily. Like I said, I'll find out why. But yeah, personally, right, I'm waiting for this to happen, right? So if it break below the key level, we break back above the rates. That's what I'm looking for. Now, if for any reason I see this pattern, I would love to buy UJ, right? I'll just add UJ to my already existing trades in my portfolio. But let's see. Hopefully, we get this pattern. Hopefully. 80 card pushing back. Now, I don't know where this guy wants to turn around from. And quite frankly, I'm not so interested, to be honest, because I would only come back to sell 80 card if we come back to the key level. So, nothing to be honest for me. Euro card is, yeah, I think we're definitely going to close above the key level, right? Because today is what, the 28th? Yeah. So, I don't think we're gonna have 2 bad days so that we can close back the key level. So I'd like to think this is a breakout. Of course, I have to wait, but this more than likely looks like a breakout. Um, Pound card. Yeah, this guy's doing really well. So we pulled back, right? Tested here, and I'm not trying to make a new high. Of course, we have. Let's see. Yeah, we have to keep an eye out for this minor, weekly resistance level. So pound card might stall here for a bit, but ultimately I'm expecting a breakout. If we have a breakout, then fine. That just aids the position, right? But if we turn back around, we'll see, right? We'll see. But yeah, ideally, we should have a breakout, considering how the trend is moving. Okay, considering how the trend is moving. But let's see. I'm still long, like I bought down here. So I think at this point I'm up around 3.65%, about 3.7%, which is good. Which is very good. Yeah, you see. NZ card, close to break even, nothing to be honest. US card, yeah, still nothing to be honest. We need breakouts, right? So until that happens, can't really do anything. Euro AUD, yeah, same thing. Since at the key level, we're pulling back. There's nothing to see. Euro NZD as well. Now let's see how we're looking at the monthly. This is really tricky now. So we still have, let's see. Yeah, we still have 2 more days to kind of confirm what this will look like, if there's a breakout or if this is not a breakout. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Pound AUD. Hold on, let me see. So pound AUD, I'm also expecting this pullback. I don't know if we'll get it, but if we do, then of course I would love to buy pound AUD. Now you can see the next key level, so I have so much room to take profit. It's just a question of, are we going to see the pullback to the key level? So we'll find out. Pound NZD. Interesting. So yeah, I'd like someone to make a comment on pound NZD. Like, I mean, most of us who have been watching this, I'd just like someone to make a comment on this guy. Anything.
Actually, on this pound and the NZB, I've actually lost my patience on it. I wanted to close it when I break even this around this new or so. You understand? So I just decided to just leave it up. Maybe you should just play it out by itself. Because I've already lost patience on it. Right? No, I think we've been on this trade right, since beginning of this month. I think so.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. What I would say, I entered the last time. I asked you, say like it's still a good time to buy, and you comments about say it depends on the risk at which I want to take. So I went to a 4 hour, and I saw my confirmation there. On the 4 hours, I saw like triple bottom or like head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders, kind of like a base for me. So that
Yeah.
is what I can say about it. So that form a base for me. Then I entered by today. Like I'm in good profit now. So like I'm cool with that.
All right. Interesting. Okay. Anybody else?
Okay. Personally, I can say that it's all moved down to the key level. Yes, and secondly, I think the loss that Abdul and George experienced initially, I would have actually been a victim of it if I didn't, if not for the journaling that I have to learn from the point that I almost that I do most time get stopped out from my tight stop. So recently, I tried to use kind of stops in a way, and I think the week of I think when was that? That should be on Thursday last week thereabout. There was a particular week. It's on Wednesday. it almost took me out. Like looking at my MT5, it's just I think is it the asking or the bidding price didn't get up to my stops, but I think it's just almost at the like you watch the week, you see that the week is already at my stop loss, but I think maybe the asking price or the bidding price, any of them didn't get to touch there. And currently I'm seeing that I'm up about 1% on the trade. So it's something that I look at and I'm like, oh wow, this is pretty much interesting, seeing trades move like this. That doesn't necessarily means that pound NZD will play out, but so far so good. What have been happening, it's quite good. Yeah, it's great to me personally. Yes, it's great. So it's just all on the key level. For people that wouldn't use a wide stop, you'd see that maybe this fake out can actually get you stopped out. So that's just it. That's my comment on pound NZD.
All right. Thank you all for your inputs. Very interesting, right? And you guys get to see how Philip. Do you want to say something? Because I think your mic was up at some point.
Oh, hello. Thank you, Casey.
Yeah, welcome.
Um, Thank you for posting all the setups and all of the swing trades. I know it's not easy to just take the trades and follow them because the markets go up and down, and this trade setup like GBP and ZD, it went into drawdown after initially going into profit. My experience with this trade, I actually entered in the beginning when we were in profit. I saw those weekly wicks that we can see right now on screen forming at the highs.
Yeah.
I ended up holding and getting stopped out at break even, honestly. Um, and thought that we were gonna get hit stop loss. But after looking at the weekly and just letting it play out, I noticed that we came down, we broke out on the weekly structure and we came back down for a weekly retest of the structure. And I knew that it might take, and when price is in these areas, these weekly key levels, it doesn't always just reject right there when it touches the level. Oftentimes, I notice that price needs to form market structure at the key level before taking off. And for that to happen, it does take time. Sometimes it takes one day and sometimes it takes multiple. But as we can see here, price came down to the key level and it hung out for quite a little bit and even gave what we might call a stop hunt or a hunt towards a stop loss or a fake out. But as you can see, the bullish engulfing came. We right back above the key level, and this trade is looking good. I entered at the bottom of the week, and I also had the entry at your original entry. So that just got triggered, and the trade is looking good. So thank you so much again. I'll be holding this trade.
Yeah, sweet, right? Interesting. So this is cool. This is cool to see. Now, you guys see how much patience is required with trades and the importance of key levels at the end of the day. Because remember, we saw this trade try to stop us out twice. Okay, at first we saw this guy. Price came down here. It closed below the level, and then we thought it was going to stop out. Now, I did not touch my trade. I didn't do anything to the trade. And we popped back above the key level, and that was when Josh asked if it was going to enter, and then I explained about the risk. But then days later, it came so close to the stop loss as though it was going to stop out. But now we're right back above the key level. Now, if we come back to the weekly time frame, okay, look at this. This is just a break and retest. That's all it is. But now, do you see what patience and discipline can do to you? Do you see how much stress it saves you? Because you would have looked for all the reasons. Anybody here would have looked for all the reasons why they should get out of pound entering. Now, you see now that the market is just there being the market. It's just doing its thing. But we could stress ourselves out so much that we begin to decrease the potential of our systems by doing too much. Some of us might have closed out here multiple times thinking that price is going to stop us. And that's why I allow to stop me out. Let it stop me out so that I understand what is going on in the market. I don't try to meddle in the trades. But it's something I learned and it has helped me so far. And that's why I keep explaining it. And then the thing is, the good thing about this is that we use a lot of examples, right? Because we bought pound NZ like a month ago. and we saw the drawdown. We saw how price came down into the drawdown, how we almost tried to take us out. But now we can see the power of the key level right before our very eyes. So this is beautiful to see. Now we're back at break even, and this is not to explicitly say that this trade must play out. But what it means is, so far we're doing good. Okay, if we come back to the money time frame, this is exactly what I was speaking of. I said we need to make sure that by the end of the month, this candle will be a rejection. That would help us see, or that would help us understand that the key level is very strong. If the candle breaks and closes below the key level and stops us out, that would mean that we are in a fake out. But if we have a rejection, it will just solidify the key level. So it is price that will tell you what is going on. You cannot try to decide before the fact. So now, pound NZ is back at break even. And who knows, we might just see that things might swing into our favor. If the New Zealand continue to weaken against the pound, then more than likely, this guy will continue moving up. It is not a 100% guarantee, but this is good. So far, so good. So if I look through my portfolio, this was the only trading drawdown, to be honest. So if I come down to my portfolio once again, let me see. Yeah, every single trade is in blues at least. Every single trade, because pound NZ is back at broken. Yeah, interesting. And I think at this point, I am up just above 8, almost 9%, to be honest. I think at the end of last week, I was up almost 7%. But yeah, the shoes are doing really well. So I'm now up almost 9%. It's insane, right? Insane. And now, don't mind you, these trades have the potential to do somewhere around 40 to 45% if they all play out. Yeah, that's crazy. We'll see. We'll see how that eventually happens. But yeah, this is about pound NZ, and this is just clear as day. All right, this is just clear as day. Another example that I like to go back to is pound CAD, because I think when price came up to this high and pulled back, so many persons thought that we're going to get stopped at break even, or price is going to come back and stop us out. And this is the fear. This is what I've always said about the market does not even know what you're thinking. It doesn't know you're having these thoughts in your head. So if you try to be in sync with the market, it saves you so much stress, just so much stress. Now price is back at the level, and then I'm sure that so many persons have taken their profits at this point because they thought that price is going to come back to break even, but it didn't. That's the point. But yeah, let's move on. 80 USD. We are. I don't know. Are we coming back to this key level? Maybe. I honestly doubt it. But if we come back here, that's what I love to say, right? Because I sold here in November and closed out here, and I love to sell here again if it comes back. So we'll see. I'm not trying to rush because I think like price is like still very far away from the key level. So I'm not trying to like decide or press on what I'm trying to do here. But yeah, we'll see. EU. Let's see. We're still above the key level, which is interesting. So it looks like we're going to close here. The question is, how will the next month print out? Are we going to retest and continue, or are we going to break back below the key level? That's all we're found out. Pound US is the same thing. We're breaking up of the key level, which is interesting. But the question is, are we going to stay above by the end of this month? And how the next candle form? Because look at what happened here. We tried to close above slightly, and then the next candle just was bearish and closed back below the key level. So I'm going to have the same thing happen here. We'll find out. Right? Only time can tell it. Only time can tell it. NZD, USD. I think we're trying to retest some sort of weekly resistance level here. Now, to be honest, I'm not trying to sell here as well. I'm only going to sell if price comes back to the key level. So I think for some of these USD pairs, there are no opportunities if you ask me. I think I'm just looking at EU and GU. I just want to see how the candles close, how the next candles form, just so that I can look at what we might be expecting. Okay, because it's still on the cards that the dollar might gain strength. So remember, when you sell a currency pair, you are betting on the strength of the currency against the weakness of the other in most cases. So the question is, will the dollar be so weak that G will go up to 1.42. That's a very big question. So we'll see. All right. Only time can tell us. Only time can answer these questions. For the Swiss franc pairs, to be honest, I'm not interested because they're still like very far away from key level. Kind of missed the shot here on ADCHF. Missed the air because we didn't really have the best break and retest. So missed it. Cat CHF. Took this guy. Sold here. Yeah, let me come back to Cat CHF because let me see. Yeah, let me see. Now I think I took out the entry here, but Cat CHF was like another example of the trade idea that you just need to allow. It was something of this sort, I think. Took profit around 2.7%. So I think it was something of this sort. Here. So I sold back in November, right? And then multiple times the market tried to stop me out. Multiple times. And every single time price came here, I did not adjust my positions. I did not close my trades in a bid to cut losses short. I didn't do any of those things. I just allowed the market to be the market. And now, interestingly, the key level worked out, right? The key level just was the key level and rejected price every single time. But while it's doing that, you can see that there are wicks and candles trying to close above, trying to give you like false stories. And if you're looking for a reason to close Cat CHF at each of these points, you would have done so. Because look at how close it was to my stop loss every single time. Okay, so I'm just speaking from experience. I've seen this too many times that I'm not going to meddle when prices are like trying to break above the key level or not. I allow it to stop out because in most cases it might be a fake out. It might be a fake out. So here, another example here is Cat CHF. Interesting. So I'm out of this guy and I will not sell until we come back to the key level. So that's about it. Euro CHF, not interested to be honest, but ranging. Pound CHF, still not interested, but ranging. That's about it. NZS CHF. Took a loss here. Took a loss here. Where is that? Here in November. So I was trying to take this break and retest. It was kind of tricky. So I sold here, kind of weaked me out, but then it played out. So ADCHF and NZS were like very good entries or very good opportunities, but they didn't really set up exactly how I wanted them to. So that's kind of like what it looks like. I missed out on these opportunities. And yeah, I'm up about 13% so far this year. But with these trades, I should have been up like, I don't know, maybe 20% at least. But that's fine. That's okay. USCHF, yeah. So we have this bearish breakout, which is clear by now. Let's see. Of course, I think we're gonna close like this. I'm not really seeing what would really in the next 2 days push price back above the key level. So if we close like this, then I'd like to see what happens if we come back for a retest. All right, that's what I'd like to see because we're bearish. Okay, that's very obvious right now. We're bearish. So we'll see. Okay, we'll see. I think these are great setups at the end of the day. But yeah, time is only time that can help us with what we can do with these trade ideas.
I can see. Yeah, please. I want us to look at NZDCHF. Please, is this that place? Is this a key level? NZDCHF at a wick side to the 0.49452. Can I say it's a break and wait test on it?
It is right. It's going to be a break and retest if we pull back here to test. Now let me see. Yeah, so it's only on the weekly time frame that you can see this. It's not wrong to sell from this point, of course not. But considering that we can still come and test the key level, I would just prefer to sell at the key level. That's just what I'll do.
Okay.
But then if the market, if price action is so weak, in some cases it may not come back, right? It may just come here, test, come the next lower high, and then continue to the downside. It doesn't mean that price must come back to the key level. The difference is I will only participate if it comes back there. That's the thing. So If that makes sense.
Okay, okay, all right. Cool.
All right. So any other questions for currencies just before we jump about to indices? I think we can just want to wrap this up just so that we can look at the dinner or two today.
All right, Cassie, please can you go over to AUDCHF, please?
Here.
Okay. What do you think? Do you necessarily think that price is pulling back to the key level? So if that can we see the monthly time frame, please? Okay. So
Here's
that means if you should pull back to the key level and maybe an entry indication to go short, it would be a good opportunity to short AUDCHF, I guess, right?
yeah, I would take a stab at that. Yes. Um if we pull back, I would take a stab at shots. Right? I'll take a stab at shots. But now here's the thing I am personally looking at. The Swiss franc, right? The Swiss franc on its own is pretty. Hold up, I'll say it's pretty weak. Now, let me see. Uh, let's see. Yes, the Swiss franc is pretty weak. What I mean is, in terms of the economy, right? Is weak. So, remember, if we're trying to sell all of these pairs, we're in a sense saying that the Swiss franc will be stronger than these currencies, right? And yes, it has been. Okay, it has been. But right now, the economy is not so good, if that makes sense. So even though I would take a stab at shots here, we might have a bullish reversal. That's also something I have in mind. I keep in mind. It will not stop me from looking out for my opportunities, right? It would not. But also, I have to look at the fundamentals. But I'm not trying to like tie in the fundamentals so much as to why I will take it buy or sell. But I just have it in mind that it is possible for us to have a bullish reversal because for what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, what I'm researching, it looks like the Swiss franc might take a hit, right? Because of how the economy is looking. So, but yeah, that's about it. But it doesn't change what I would do. I would still look for shorts around this level, definitely. So I think Swiss franc, ADCHF, CAT CHF, NZDCHF, USCHF. So that's like what I have.
Oh, okay, good. And okay, let me start with this first before I move over to the next question. You said that you don't really need the fundamentals on knowing if you should buy a particular pair or you should sell a particular currency pair. What does that mean? Does it mean that fundamentals shouldn't be considered when one wants to open a position? Because me personally, I've seen so far that actually been in the industry that fundamentals actually help the market to move. Yeah, it actually gives volatility to the market. So that, sorry.
I said fundamentals move the market, like fundamentals and sentiments. This is what pretty much moves the market.
Okay,
Amongst other things.
okay. And that being said, does it necessarily mean that fundamentals shouldn't really be considered when maybe one want to buy or sell a particular currency pair, please?
It should, right? Now, here's is a tricky question, right? Because you see, not every person trades using fundamentals. Okay, for some traders, okay, they apply fundamentals into their trading. Like what it means is they look up, like for how do I explain this now? For another system I'm trying to work on, it would work directly with fundamentals. Right? I'm still like building the system, okay, but that system works with fundamentals. This system doesn't. What it means is the system can trade independently without looking at fundamentals. Because that's how I created it. You get. So that question is tricky because it brings the question: how did you create a system? Does the system use fundamentals? If it does, then you need it, right? But if you didn't create a system using fundamentals, then you wouldn't need it. Because by adding fundamentals, that's like another variable that would adjust your system. So if you're going to use fundamentals, you have to start tracking the fundamental data you're using to take the trades you're taking. You have to start drawing that aspect of it. You get. But if you did not use fundamentals, then you're not going to. Okay, let me give you an example. Say I have a rule. I will need price to break out here, and I need 5 candles to give me a retest. 5 candles. So that was my rule. And then I come here and see that is a 5th candle here. Do I need anything from the fundamentals to make me sell it? I don't, because this is how I created it. Like it's a rule-based system, so it depends on the system you trade. Okay, because again, it's a big debate because I've seen traders who are successful without using fundamentals, and I've also seen traders who are successful without using technicals. So it's like some persons want a bit of both, other traders decide to trade without them. It just boils down to your system, to be honest. Okay, so I can trade without fundamentals. I can use the system without fundamentals.
Okay, all right, thank you. Then down to the point that
Sorry, I can't really hear you. Can you come again?
okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, I was saying down to the point, cause you've mentioned a couple of times that you wouldn't want to bet against the United States dollar pairs. So that being said, I am actually curious, and I would love to know. Does this, like a moment like this? Yes, I would actually use moments like this as case study, because you've seen that at this point that US dollar is not really doing pretty much fine. Yeah, it's not really doing pretty much fine. And would that now make someone like getting to see a trade idea being setting up? And we all know that this is what is just happening. Probably it might be for short term. Yeah, we don't expect the dollar to continue this way, like to continue this week that it actually is. So it's something that we're looking at for short term. So my question is this: does it now mean that if you now happen to see a setup on a dollar pair, which would now be making you to bet against the dollar pair, would it like now make you not to take that particular trade idea or something? Or if it actually happened to be a trade that you are into, and then along the line the US dollar happened to fall back, because that had been like the greatest all time, what would now be your fate at that particular instance? Would it be something that, oh, you've seen that, yeah, dollar is now back, like the boss is now on track? Or would it be a case whereby you just get to close and let it go? Or it would just be a case whereby you say, oh, let's watch and see what will happen? Why personally you've seen that dollar have actually bounced back? That's my question, please.
Now, that's a very interesting question. Now, I understand why you're asking the question, because you see, questions like this means that we're looking for clarity as to what to do. Now, look at this. Okay, we have a breakout. Okay, so far this is a breakout, and let's see. At least, this is a breakout. So the question is, if I think that the dollar will still maintain strength, do I still want to buy this as a breakout retest? I'll buy
Yeah,
it.
of course,
Okay.
that's the question.
Yes, I'll buy it. Here's the reason why. Here's the reason I'll buy it. The reason why I'll buy this is because it fits my plan. It is in line with my trading plan, my trading system. Okay, that's why I'll buy it. You get. Now, if I'm okay, look at this. We've always said that dollar is very strong. We said it here, right? But then look at where EU is currently sitting at, right? Who knew? In fact, who knew that the tariffs would affect the dollar so much that prices would move from here to this point? Who knew that? No one. So even though we know that the dollar is strong, the dollar can still get here. It's still possible. I mean, it got to this point. It can still get here. So I know what I know, but I don't allow it to affect what is happening, because at the end of the day, you're not certain. Yeah, the dollar is king, yes, but who knows? The dollar can still weaken even more. I mean, it's weak right now. You get. Now, this doesn't mean that if it gets here, it cannot now start switching back to the downside. It can. Okay, and then think about it, right? What is the worst that can happen is what? I'll take a loss, right? I'll take a 1% loss on this idea. Now, if I'm wrong, okay, and okay, I'm buying this because of this the change in trend. We're not switching to the upside. So if I'm wrong about this, and this is a fake out, for me to be wrong, it means that this will be a fake out. So you see, at the end of the day, I'm just following the market, right? So if this is a fake out, it means that we're now heading back to the downside. Then that's fine. I'll catch it here. I'll catch the sell here. I don't know if that makes sense. Like at the end of the day, I would always come out on top because unless the market decides not to trend, but as long as it trends, I will get an entry and I will make money off the idea. So think about it, right? If we have a break and retest and then we have the continuation, then that's fine. I'll make money on this run. But if for any reason this happens to be a fake out, which it can be, right? It means that even if it retests and gives me an opportunity, I buy it and it stops out, and we now throw it back to the downside, like we're heading back to parity, for example. If that is the case, then fine, okay, we'll come back here and then we'll break the level, right? Because if we don't break the level, it means that we're back into the range, which means I don't have any business with EU. But if for any reason we break back to the level, I'll catch the retest. If we get a retest, I'll catch it, and I'll still make money to the downside. So you see that at the end of the day, I would just take a loss at the end of the day. In most cases, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm prepared either ways. I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah, of course, it does. Thank you.
All right. So yeah, dollar is king. But it doesn't mean that if we close above the key level and then I have a break and retest, then I will not buy it because yeah, that's my trade setup, and I'll take it anytime, anything. Okay. So any other questions here, like occurrences, just before we move over to emphasis? So all right, no questions. All right, interesting. So for indices, not much to be honest. Spoke about this idea. I think I missed it, but that's fine. What else? I'm long on this guy. We're starting to push, which is very cool. Starting to push here. So it's just very small profit on this guy, as well as this guy. Just need to. The DAX missed it. No setups here. Like since our last update. What else? This guy, nothing. This guy, waiting for that retest, still hasn't happened. What's let me see. Okay. So yeah, no retest yet. Let me see. Oh yeah, hold it. When was this? This was on Thursday. This was on Friday. Yeah, it's just nasty. Hold up. So alright. Let's see. If we get a pullback, if we do, then that'll be lovely. This guy, yeah, so you see it came back to retest. Yeah, so look at this. So it broke out when in January of 2025, came back in April to the retest. But yeah, look how the retest came in. It wasn't the best, right? Too many gaps, not something I could hold on to as yeah, it would have been hard to buy this. But this is a break and retest. Now this actually in this guy, but I mean look at how it's set up. It's just pretty weird, right? So well, that's okay. That we pull back, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm hoping we pull back on this guy so that I can buy them. So we'll see. I'm up on this guy as well. The Nasdaq. Yeah, just up a little bit. The Russell, nothing yet. Nothing yet. Let's see. Nothing yet, to be honest. Break and retest, nothing yet. Okay, this guy is the same as this first one. US 30. Let me see. Yeah, we need the breakout. Yeah, let it break out properly first, and then I'll look for a retest. What else? Yes, breakout, retest. Yeah. So for these guys, nothing much, but I do think that most of them will set up. At least some of them should. And then yeah, we'll have more opportunities this year. Gold is continuing to the upside, which is not surprising, of course. There's nothing to say about this guy. Copper, yeah, I think we had the breakout. Let me see. Yes, I'm also waiting for a pullback on copper. If we pull back, yeah, I would love to buy this guy. If we pull back here, I would love to go long. I'm long on palladium. Let's see. I'll break even here on palladium. And platinum is just, yeah, starting to retrace, right? Shit is crazy. So yeah, platinum is starting to push in profit, which is good. Yeah, we'll see, right? Does it play out or does it not play out? We'll find out. Silver. Yeah, I think this guy should just run up like gold, right? So if it breaks out, I'd love to take the pullback and try to trade it back to like 49. That's what I'm waiting for. Yeah, I think that's about it, right? That's about it. So from currencies to indices up onto metals, I have 10 open trades. All trades are currently in blues, at least break even for some of them. I'm up almost 9%. If I close this trade now, I would be looking at the record I have already. I will be up around 22%, and we are just in April. We're just closing the month of April. Now, I would ordinarily average 25 to 40% an annual year, and I think so far we're like doing really good. So what I'm just hoping for is that we have more opportunities and that these trade ideas we have play out. Because, like I said before, if all of these trades play out, right? I'm not certain all of them will play out, but I think some of them should. But if all of them play out, like best case scenario, we're looking at 45% from these trades. And this is aside the other opportunities that we set up before the year ends. So that's why I feel like we're supposed to have a fantastic year. I mean, it still depends on market conditions, right? But let's see. So far, we're doing good. I'd like us to keep the momentum and see how far we can take it. Okay? So, yeah, that's about it. Any questions on these guys? Anything else? Any questions? If not, then I think we'll look at some journals before we wrap up today. So, any questions? All right. No questions. All right, sweet. Okay, so about the journals. So who do you think we should start with? Carlos, George, Abdul, Philip, uh, Alan, Samira, and Jay. Anyone here who has a journal already? I think we spoke about this like a month ago, and I said that today we look at some journals. So anybody here who has a complete journal that we can look at? Even if it's just one person, we can just take that. Okay, see how it goes. Who takes the stage?
I do, but I'm currently not at home, so I'm not with my PC because it will actually be much more best with my PC. So I'm just on the session with my mobile phone, and I'm not
Okay,
at
so
home at all. Yeah, I'm off my place.
okay,
That's it.
why
So
don't we
so on Thursday,
uh
I'm gonna do that on Thursday.
okay, yes, please do, because I think it's better off with a PC so that we can see everything as to the charts
Yeah,
and
of
the trades.
course, of course,
A
of
PC
course.
is much better. Um, this is much better. So I don't know anybody else. George, Abdul, you guys have your journals complete at the moment. If you do, then
Kasi, I'm now on the stock journal, like trying to upload it and try to arrange it. But for the stock journal, I don't know where to subscribe to it. I think I just key in my entries there and upload the screenshot of the trade I took on it.
uh, okay. Now you see, I mentioned right. I mentioned that we were better off using Notion. The reason why I said that was because
Okay.
it's easy for us to track. Yeah, it is easy for us to track. Like You don't like strong journal. You just look at performance. You just track the performance. You can't really use it to like as a journal, if that makes sense. Like it's a journal, yes, but like it just tracks performance. To be honest, if you're trying to like actually look at this as a journal so that you can actually adjust things, look at where you could be going wrong. Strong journal is not the guy for you, in all honesty. You can only come to strong journal if you just want to track your performance, to be honest. So that's why I encourage using Notion. Because with Notion you can track in, if that makes
Okay,
sense.
okay, right. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I'll do that. Yeah.
All right. So
I'm
Abdul,
trying to make the
Yeah.
microphone and stuff work so I can just show you my screen.
okay, Jay, sorry, you were saying something.
Yes, I'm trying to get the microphone to work on the computer so I can show you my screen and so on.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I think we're coming to that now.
I'm switching from the computer to my phone to and from, so I'm gonna try now and see if the microphone work. All right?
All right, so switch back. What are you using right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna try now. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Uh, so while you do that, Abdul, do you have a journal complete at the moment?
I know, actually, I still have few trades like that's played out last week, so I haven't updated my journal yet. So I don't know.
Okay,
All right, it's
So
working now.
okay. So what do you think, Jerry? Sorry, hold up. So Abdul, what do you think? Do you think you can get that ready by Thursday?
sure. I'll get that done by Thursday. So I'll update my journal by Thursday because
All right.
the just the trades that played out last week, so I haven't input that on my journal yet. So you know,
Okay. All right. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So yeah, let's see how we can just get that ready by Thursday so that we can have a review of the journals we have. It's been a month, right? It's been about 2 months since we had a discussion. So I think we should have some data into our journals by now. And that's why I'm speaking of it. So let's see how we treat that on Thursday. Jay, yeah, please are you now connected with your laptop?
Yes, I am.
All right. So to share your screen, if you look down like the very first icon on the left that has like the R icon, I think that's where you can share your screen. So
Hold on. We're on the left.
yeah, the bottom left.
Hold on.
If you hover over the icon, it shows share screen. So
Hold on. I'm looking.
all right, so I will take out my screen out now so that you can share your screen. If that makes sense.
No problem.
Yeah. Let's see.
Bottom left. No, I'm not seeing it.
Okay, now
Maybe you can look at your top left, if not bottom left.
yeah,
Take a look at your top left. You see three dots there.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Now
If you're using Android PC.
if yeah, it'll be at the top left now because I've taken out my screen. So um,
Tell me
top left.
That's
tell
it.
me when you're seeing it. You seeing it?
Yeah, we can see that.
All right, cool. All right, so this is the link. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, I can see your
All right,
screen.
so yeah.
That's
This level of distortion, though, not hearing no. Hearing me clearly?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. I'm having some level of distortion, not hearing you properly. But this is basically me right here. Simple break and retest. NZD This is what I'm looking at from ever since. I was waiting on it to actually come back to this zone before I looked to take a trade. I wouldn't classify this as a break and retest because to me it's not deep in the level as what I want it to. Right?
Okay.
Um,
Um.
so
Yeah, this is
yeah,
this is it's pretty much the same about the same thing. Can we look at like maybe any other asset, maybe another currency pair that you have something on as well?
hold on. I'm gonna try to see if I can log in on my phone and use a microphone on my phone or something because I'm not. You're sounding a bit distorted. So I'm gonna mute the mic right here. Hold on. Still seeing my screen?
No. So
Nah,
try sharing.
seems as if when I close from when I open it on the phone, it closes the screen. But
Yeah,
I'm
of
not hearing
course,
you
of
clearly
course.
when
When
you're
you do that,
saying.
it closes on the screen. When you open it on the phone, it locks you out of your PC. That's how
Oh,
it goes. Yeah. So either you use your PC or use your phone.
well, all right. So when I'm using a PC, right, I realize that I'm sharing the screen, but I'm not hearing properly what you guys are saying. So what I'm gonna do, probably the next time, I'm gonna use a computer. This because this is a Chromebook.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
but I'm not. When
okay,
you're speaking, I'm not hearing you properly.
okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
same here. I think yeah, same here. So what I think we'll do now is another thing you can do is if you have two accounts, that can work. Quite tricky, but yeah, that can work as well. But um,
When is the
but then
next
you
meeting?
the next meeting is on Thursday, so we meet twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays, same time, same time.
Monday.
So
All right. I'll try next Monday because probably this Thursday I'll be busy. But if I'm not, I'll be here for sure.
all right, but then even if you're not here on Thursday, yeah, of course, on Mondays you see us like Mondays and Thursdays every single week we're here. So
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
So let's see how we can get that fixed so that we can see more of how you trade. I think it'll be quite interesting to see. I saw some things, but I have more questions, right? So
Yeah, you saw some things like.
um, the break and retest, what you're looking at. But what I was very interested to see is like how you also approach like other pairs, maybe like a different trend. That's why I was asking if I could see like another pair you were looking at. But it seems like your mic and maybe your speaker isn't really allowing you to
All right.
hear me.
Let me try one more time before. Let me try one more time. If not, I'm just gonna leave. All right. And then
All
next
right,
week Monday. So let's try again.
let's try that. Yeah.
All right. Can you see something from me, please?
I can see your screen. Yes.
All right. So it's the same thing. It's the same this started. But probably what I'm gonna do is probably go to another chart since you can hear me, and I'll break it down how I approach it, and then I'll close this one and go on the phone. So that's what
All
I'm gonna
right.
do.
All right. Okay.
All right. So this is Euro USD. I've been looking at it. It's a bit better on the weekly time frame. So currently, I'm just waiting on price to come back to this level, show me some form of indication to go down. All right. No, nothing much, but it's better on the weekly time frame. Just that simple as waiting for it to come back here. Uh, moving on to Euro GVP. It's a bit better on the daily right here. So just waiting on almost there. Just waiting on price to come right in here or even break it and show me some signs of going long. So I would approach it something like this. Right. I would target about here. Yeah. So currently waiting on that. Um, let's see what this one. GCAD a bit confusing, so I would normally leave this. Or I'm waiting for it to break here, come back here to go long. Uh, your AUD, pretty much what we really waiting on this one is for it to come back right here. Because from the break, this structure you haven't returned there. So that's what I'm looking at. So I'm not really looking at your AUD for now. Uh, NZD, yeah. So I've been looking at this one. All right. Yeah, so price come up to this level, come here once, but when it up and here back and a bit, show some exhaustion. So yeah, if I took this trade, probably I wouldn't be in profit now. Yeah, but I didn't like how he was looking, so I never entered. Uh, Something slightly different with Euro NZD. I'm really and truly waiting on it to come back here. So showing some sign of exhaustion here, probably can go short on this one. Just watching it to see what happened. Uh, yeah, so I'm gonna done for demo. I'm gonna close and come on the phone so you can talk. All right.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, so that's me.
Okay. Yeah, we listen to you carefully, and I must say this is interesting. Now, for the most part, I think we're all very similar in the way we trade because our setups are pretty similar. Pound NZD, pound card, Euro USD. Pretty much a lot of the things here are similar, which is why I'm very interested in how you trade. Now, I have a question. Do you track your trades? Do you have like a journal where you track your
Yeah,
trades?
yeah. I started to track them about a month ago or something. About a month ago.
Okay, so what do you use to track your trades? Like, what do you use now?
So what I do, I would go in the trading view and the camera looking things. I would copy the link. Yeah, so when I'm going to enter a trade, I copy the link and paste it. Now it'd be like entry, put the time there, and if I'm going long or short, if it plays out, I'll put a win. If it don't, a loss. So each time, like when it close to when I decide to close it, or it stopped me out, I would copy that link also, paste it, and put loss beside it.
Hmm.
So yeah, so that's how I
Sweet,
track.
sweet, interesting. Yeah, pretty much. Now, how long? Like, did you just start tracking your trades like recently?
Yeah, just tracking them recently. Recently.
Okay. Okay. So I have a clear idea of how you trade now. So I think what I'm not interested in like is seeing your journal, like how you're tracking your trades. So maybe the next time you come on, since we're dealing with like journaling right now, maybe the next time you come on, either on Thursday or Monday, then
Yeah,
maybe you can, yeah, share your screen and share your journal instead because now we know how you trade. We have
yeah,
like a vivid picture of how you trade. So sharing your journal would make so much sense so that we can see how you track the trades and let's
yeah.
see if we can improve on something else. Okay.
No, no problem, no problem.
Yeah, but this is cool, right? So thanks for showing up and thanks for sharing your screen. Like now I have a better like, understanding of how you trade, which is very interesting. So
Yeah, and you're saying that it's similar, right?
yeah, very similar, I must say. So I think that there are some things that might be worked on, but I'm not sure yet until I see your journal, right? So
Yeah.
that's why I'm not trying to rush into saying too much. I just want to see how you track your trades, and then I think we'll go from there.
If you want me to send you them, I can. What I did, it was I have them in draft in my email. So if you want to send me like an email, I can send you them. So you
Okay, okay. Let's see. Let's see. Are you on Discord? Are you like on the Discord community yet?
Discord, as in all of your messaging and stuff.
Yeah, Discord, like the community, ExcelcioHub community on Discord. Are you there?
Yeah, free trade hub signals and so on. Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, yeah. Are you there? Okay, fine. So I think I'll find a way to reach out to you so that I can get that. Okay.
Yeah. If you want the number, I can also send it to you. It doesn't matter.
Okay, okay, okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
So I'll text you on Discord. Okay. I'll just what's your Discord name just to make sure.
I think it's J_Don_Max.
Okay. All
I think
right. So
that's it.
I'll look for you. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
look for you and then I'll text.
All
Okay.
right, no problem, no problem.
All right. All right. You take care. All right. You take
All right,
care.
thank you.
So of course, any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Just before we wrap up.
Hello, Casey.
Yeah, Abdul, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, my question is that, like, is it wrong? Is it wrong to have a multiple strategy? And even though, like, maybe you're still working on it or something, like, that you're still working on it, and like, maybe the percentage of those strategy working out is higher than you losing the trade or something. Like, is it wrong to have a multiple strategy? Like, is it wrong?
Um, I don't. I would say it is not wrong. Okay, because in fact, most institutions have like multiple strategies. Some institutions do have multi strategies, and I don't think it's wrong. It just depends on how you create each of them, right? So the thing is, you just need to make sure every single system is working. I don't think it's wrong. Now you have to be careful because sometimes some of the systems are like trend trading systems, so they need to be like diverse to some extent, so that you don't have like very similar systems. Now, one of the reasons why some persons adopt multi strategies and systems is because of market conditions. So, when you have market conditions that don't favor trend traders, some traders adopt or create systems that would work in other market conditions, maybe a raging market or things like that. So I don't think it's wrong. I don't think it's wrong at all. In fact, I am very interested in building systems. That's what I love doing. So it's not wrong. You just have to make sure that every system you're creating works really well. You have to make sure you know the metrics to track. Make sure it works. Right? As long as it works, then you're fine. You're really fine. In fact, I'm thinking of doing something else. Like once I'm done with the second system I'm creating, I'm thinking of doing something else. But this time, I want to just use patterns. Like when I mean patterns, I mean the old patterns we know of, head and shoulders, um, bullish and bearish pennants, rectangles and things like that. I'm thinking of going into that niche. Like that's completely different from what I do now. So I'm thinking of doing that as well. Like it's just something I love to do, like testing out and creating systems. So it's not wrong as long as you know how to create them. As long as you make sure that the systems you're creating can last long term and that they are consistent. It's not wrong. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. In fact, I think it's encouraged. It's quite the opposite. I think it's encouraged that you have multiple systems. But like that's a big hassle, right? Just make sure one is working first, at least. So,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah. Any other questions? Any other questions? All right. So interesting. So, in the absence of any questions, I think this is where we'll draw the curtain close today. It was a fantastic session as always, and yeah, thank you guys for showing up today for making this a success. And I'll see you guys on Thursday. But of course, let's remember to keep our journals updated because, like I said, I want to make sure that the next 2 weeks we can use that to treat our journals. Okay, look at a journal, review it. Look at a journal, review it. That's what I'm. That's kind of my focus for this month of May. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. But yeah,
Yeah,
thank you
of,
guys for
of,
sharing.
of course, Casey, of course. I would have actually not mind sharing my screen today for my journal. Just that due to some circumstances, I couldn't make it home. So on Thursday for sure, because my journal is like it's updated even up to today. Just that I'm not home. Maybe it would have started from me today, but
All right,
for that reason, yeah. So on Thursday it is. On Thursday, please.
of course, that's fine, that's fine. All right. So once again, you guys have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you on Thursday. All right. Let's have a fantastic training.
All right,
Okay.
you too. Thank you very much. I appreciate.
Of course. Take care. All right. Take care, guys. Take care, guys. Stop recording.